time now for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace and former Ottawa Senator Jason York.
Without further ado now, because he's busy. It's game day, and he's now like a corporate guy. He's got an office. He's got his name on the door. Hey, he's got people that work for him. Ian, our good friend.
What's going on, gentlemen? You know what? You never know who's going to pop into my office, eh?
Oh, wow. Are you in trouble?
I am in trouble.
Wow.
Get him in there, boys.
How are you?
Hey, the big boss man. What's going on, boys?
Not bad, not bad. Nice evening last night, Jason. At the Chio Gala.
That was a great night, wasn't it? With the stuff for Chio. And how about the guest speaker last night? Talking about his trials and tribulation. My God, just awesome.
What an incredible story! Talking about he used the words grit and resilience.
Yep. And
I asked him for a copy of that tape. I'd like the players to listen to this.
That's a great idea.
It was just so fitting. But it's a beautiful venue. Except I went to the National Arts Center first, so I whoops, wrong venue. So I'm still learning. Being part of Ottawa, I'm still learning the ropes. But it was a great evening and great people. And Brent, I didn't see you there, but that's probably why there's so many great people. He's out.
Yeah, he's gone. Roasting and out of there.
Oh, wait. Hold on. He's got one. Just remember, I'm not a bird feeder guy.
Oh, he knows what's going on.
Leave it on the high. You never know who's going to pop into the office.
Wow.
Okay. Ian, were you listening to our conversation earlier? I don't know if you're listening.
No,
this guy.
No.
This guy thinks gingerbread houses are stupid.
Oh, Brent?
Yes, stupid. Like it's a gingerbread house, for God's sake.
You're like gingerbread bird feeder talk now too?
Well, at Christmas time, we do a gingerbread house contest where every member of the family gets to build a gingerbread house and you decorate it. You've got gumdrops and you've got jujubes and candy canes. Then we take pictures and we have eggnog and you have some bonding. And Wally's like, gingerbread houses are stupid. Like,
if there's a modern day Ebenezer Scrooge, it's this guy.
Right?
Yeah, bah humbug.
Oh God.
Can we move on?
Okay. So before we move on, Ian, it's been 3 years. You let this guy back in the building. What is the vibe like with Wally cruising around the Canadian Tire Center?
You know what? We should have just had Michael here to, maybe talk about rescinding his credentials, because he's back here like it's 2012. He's buzzing around, asking tough questions, leading scrums. No, but it has been, in all honesty, it's been great. And I think what we love is that I think your audience is really benefiting from the access, right? Like you're able to have, and I'll give you a great example. And I don't know if Wally shared this or not, but like just yesterday, I think it was yesterday, he's sitting there with Josh Norris and Drake Batherson, and I want to say it was a good 15-minute conversation, maybe 20 minutes. And to the point where I was like, get out of here. You're in the room too long. But it's great because those are the types of interactions. It's relationship building. It's trust building. So, Wally can have those conversations with Josh, with Drake Batherson. Then he can take it back and he can come in and tell the audience here a little bit about that. And he's got a little bit more, I guess, perspective and a nuanced look at the team. So I think it's great. He asks tough questions though. He does.
All right. I'm gonna have to make my way down there. I'm worried now about these talks. About he might start pushing people. I'm gonna have to come down and supervise these talks. Okay. Now, last question. What about Wally Vision? Is there some kind of copyrights going on here? Like that camera's everywhere.
Hold on. Last question. I just jumped on here.
I don't know.
Last question on roasting Wally here.
Oh, I'm roasting Wally. Yeah, Wally. I wonder if we should go to some of the NHL guidelines and see if he's illegally streaming here. If there's like a rights, but he never live streams it, right? He just puts it up.
Yep.
Wally Vision.
I don't know if I'm allowed to live stream practice.
You're not allowed?
I don't know.
No, I don't. Remember when the Leafs had Leafs TV and they were streaming practices every day? Kind of crazy.
So that's crazy. Yeah, I thought, you know, it's funny you say that. I thought yesterday of doing a live stream for practice, and I'm like, I don't know that I can. So I didn't do it. We should probably
That's
have
one of those beg for forgiveness instead of asking for permission.
That's right. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. I thought I could do it.
How are I just want to get off talking about me for a sec, please. How are things now? Is it weird for you? I know you worked for the Sens before, but is it still? How long did it take to adjust to being back there working for the team?
It's still, honestly, Wally, it's still an adjustment. I say with my Senators lapel pin on my jacket here. Like, I said this to somebody the other day. Like, I've only been here not even 3.5 months. It feels like a year, doesn't it? In some ways, it feels like, oh yeah, but it's still an adjustment. I think it's going to take, I think, a full season of being here to fully appreciate that I'm on this side of the fence. Just from a mindset perspective. But it's been great. Like, the transition's been smooth, as you just saw there. I was about to start. I just fired up the laptop and I had my door locked, or not locked, but shut. And usually around here, when you have your door shut, that means don't come in. I'm thinking, who's just opening my door? I'm like, oh, I guess he's allowed to open my door.
Yeah. If there's one guy.
If there's one guy, it's him. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Do you now feel the weight of losses and wins more than ever?
Yes, in that and I'm being honest when I say this before. Yeah. And I don't mean this in a derogatory way. I mean, I didn't care if the team won or lost. Like, it wasn't my job to be emotionally invested. I cared for the fans. Like, I got to the point probably around 2019, 2021. You're like, okay, enough losing. I'd like to see some winning. But I didn't care from the perspective of it didn't affect me one way or the other. Yeah. Now, I do feel like it affects me in the sense of, like, everyone's just in a better. Yorkie knows this from being a player, and Wally, you know this from being around it. Like, just everyone's a lot in a better mood. Like, when you win, everything's easier to pitch somebody on, hey, would you coming in hot on the podcast? Would you do this? Would you do that? And when you lose, boy, it feels like everything's down. So you do absolutely start to feel it. And I'll tell you, the thing that's going to take me still some time to get used to is, like, the cheering for the team. Like, it feels weird still. Like, I'm coming around to it now. Like, now I'm like, okay, yeah, there's a goal. It felt so weird opening night. I remember, I think Tim scored that. Was that opening night? Yeah, Timmy scored that empty netter where he raced down against Barkov. And thankfully, Barkov wasn't hurt too bad. But I remember thinking, like, oh, damn, I'm supposed to be happy. This is really, really weird. So it's taken me some time, and I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Yeah, because you go to having to say, like, we, because you're in the media, you never ever discuss the Sens as a we. No. And then now it's for you, like, oh yeah, we won tonight, or we're doing this, or I just think it's a huge adjustment.
So when they score now, is it kind of like when you make a nice shot in pickleball, you do a little fist pump like that?
You've seen the pickleball fist pump.
I've seen it. Hey, you gotta play your nemesis, the Duke, one more time. You're gonna need a rematch there.
Okay, I'm in.
I'm gonna set it up. We'll get it going. You and your little two-handed style, you're like everywhere.
A little left hand. I look Alfie can do that too, and he's even far more impressive than I am with the sort of the ambidextrous left and right hand stuff.
Alfie, I don't know if you heard about this. He is opening up 3 padel courts later on
in the East End.
Yeah, it's going to be near the Richcraft Sensplex, right in that little area. I was talking to him last night, and he says hopefully they're going to open up in January.
Yeah, I think it's right after the New Year. Yeah.
They work every day together, Yorkie. How do they not talk?
Oh, he's coaches.
He knows everything.
He's a coach. Yeah.
Coaches are in their own world.
Okay, fine. I'm curious. You knew almost all those players, covering them when you were given the job or accepted the job. What was the reaction like to, like, guys you've known forever, like Brady and Josh and Thomas? Did they find it weird?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the first week that I came in, that's when Brady was working out in Ottawa. You remember he came up early in the summertime, and I got to tell you, like the first interaction I had with him was with Sylvain St. Laurent, who's with the PR department, and myself, and we're walking down the hallway, and Brady was working out, and he saw that we were there. He stopped his workout and he came out, and he gave us a huge kind of handshake, pat on the back, welcome aboard, boys. So good to have you. We're super excited to work with you. And then later that week, or I think the week after, we had a meeting with him. I said, I'd love to pick your brain on how things have gone, what you like, or whatever. And we sat down with him, and he was so complimentary of his of the previous staff that was here, and Brian Morris and Chris Moore, and how much they did for him, and that gave us a good insight into kind of what he liked. But at the end of the conversation, we were talking about it, and I think I said to Brady something along the lines of, part of the reason why I took this job was, I really believed in what Michael Andlauer was trying to do with the vision. And I said, Brady, I really believed in your team as well. And he stopped me. He says, you know what, Ian? You mean you believe in our team? And I thought, wow, okay. Well, that when you talk about saying we and you and all that, that really helped out. And he's been terrific to deal with. I've watched him. The amount of stuff he does away from the cameras, in particular when we went to Sudbury, I think he must have signed 1,000 autographs for kids. And that's the thing that you don't see all the time, is when you're on this side, the amount of stuff those guys do, not for cameras, not for publicity, but just do it because it's the right thing. So the guys have been really good. I was curious, like, what's it going to be like? Because I think I covered them in a pretty fair manner in the last 3-4 seasons, but it hasn't been fun, right? It hasn't been overly positive, but I've tried to take the time to get to know each guy, even when I was a reporter. And I think that helped, having, going to Tim Stutzle's house in Germany helped, going to, Shane Pinto's house in Long Island helped, going to visit Jake Sanderson at North Dakota helped. Like, you're building relationships. I always say, don't build friendships with players, build relationships. I don't think any guy on this team, past or present, has ever said, oh yeah, Ian's my friend. But I think they would say, I've got a relationship with Ian, not a friendship. And that's always been my goal.
I love that story, and it's when Brady says to you, "It's our team." Did you bring it in? Did you bring it in for a hug out? Bring it in here. Let's go. Hug it out. Eh?
Well, the reason he said that was Mendes was wearing that big foam finger that says like #1 fan.
#1 fan.
Okay. All right, this has been on my mind for a while, because I've noticed there's somebody in scrums now asking a lot of tough questions to Travis Green. A lot of tough questions. What does Travis Green think of one Brent Wallace?
Oh God,
does he even like him?
Don't answer this.
Does he even like him? That's a great question. You know what though, and I think, and hopefully it's come through a bit now. Like, I think. Like today's media session was a great example. Like, I even told Travis today, I said, I thought that was one of your best media sessions of the year. I thought you were super insightful.
It was really good.
Yeah, I thought he was engaging. And I think there's a little bit more comfort, and I don't blame him. Like, he came from Vancouver, where I will maintain this. I think, and I'm a Vancouver guy, grew up in Vancouver, so I know the market. I think it's as tough a market as there is in the NHL. I think Vancouver,
I agree.
Weirdly, because when you think of the West Coast, it should be like a chill vibe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're chill about everything except their hockey team. Like, it's crazy.
They rage in Vancouver. They get like they're very passionate,
angry, and it's the least West Coast thing ever. But I would put Vancouver up there with Toronto, Montreal, and wherever else you want to say as a tough media market. And Travis went through that, and I think when you go through that, you probably, you're going to be on guard, or at least you're going to be thinking, okay, like, this is how the media operates in every city. And I don't think that that's the way it is in Ottawa. I think it's a little different. I think the fan bases and the media are super passionate here, but I don't think that same layer of negativity is baked into the culture here with the fans and the media. I'm not saying that we don't have at times a critical fan base and a critical media, but I think usually it comes from a fair place. Whereas in Vancouver, sometimes it feels a touch unhinged everywhere.
Personal.
It does, and so. But I think he's been really good. I told him today, this was your best media session, and I thought he was really good. But if you're asking, he hasn't complained about Wally.
Who is that friggin' crusty guy over there?
Wait, has anybody
complained about Wally?
Yeah, asking for a friend.
Yeah, of course.
No one's complained.
I mean, we talk about you all the time as a PR staff.
So, by the way, Yorkie, just so you know, veteran reporter guy brought Starbucks gift cards for all the members of the PR staff early on.
You did? That's you. You're veteran. You're veteran PR.
Look at this. He's patting himself on the back for giving gift cards.
I'm just trying to. I just understood. You got to be nice to the people, and so I just wanted to say thanks for letting me back in the building.
That's a good call.
We do have a member of our staff who has ruffled some feathers, in particular at the Gatineau experience when you brought the team over there. I'm just curious, your thoughts on reporter Eric.
Yeah. He did ruffle some feathers, for sure. When we were in Gatineau, he was just sort of like in stealth reporter mode. Like he's just jumping up and interviewing people, and but he's a passionate guy, right?
Yes.
That's not really a compliment, is it? Like for me, he's a passionate guy.
He's a passionate guy. Yeah.
Right now he's cowering somewhere.
Yeah.
He's in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll keep
so I haven't even look. Are we getting some comments here, or like what's?
Oh yeah. You haven't joined the chat?
Oh, sorry. Now I've got. You know what? Because I can join you guys here for a few more minutes. Here's what I would love to do with you guys. Like honestly. This is where I think hopefully did we lose Yorkie? Finally, the dead weight
happened.
Dead weight is gone. You know what I would love is this is the opportunity for fans. Like I want to hear your feedback, your complaints, if they're complaints, whatever. Like this is a great opportunity for that. So whether it's in the chat, but even from you, Wally, like what are you hearing from your listeners in terms of like, man, I wish the team did this better, or I wish the team did that better, or whatever. Like again, I'm happy to read the comments, but there's
been one early on. Just there was a question asked if there was an update on the Bell Rogers blackout nonsense.
Okay, and so I'm glad that this got asked, and I really want this to be something where we are accountable, we're transparent, and the one thing I've realized, boy, fans are really upset and irate. And why wouldn't you be, right? Like, it's 2024. It should be pretty frictionless for you to watch a hockey game in your own market. So I can tell you that I think we're inching closer to a solution. So the way it's been explained to me, and the way I've kind of explained it on social media and people have done, is that your location is tied to your IP address. And what I've now learned that I didn't know until 3 weeks ago is that your IP address isn't necessarily tied to your actual physical location. That you could live in Orleans and your IP address is tied to Kitchener or Waterloo. Right. And the problem is when you go to watch the game, your system thinks you're in Kitchener or Waterloo, even though you're in the Glebe or you're in Arnprior or Kemptville or wherever. And it's maddening. So I know that the folks at Bell have been working diligently on this, and they are working hard towards a solution, and we're inching there. And what was encouraging was last game, Wally, I got 3 or 4 tweets from people saying issues solved. But I don't think it's everybody, and I want people to understand that until it's solved for everybody, we're not going to stop beating the drum, but we're inching closer to it. Even though I guess Joe says it's not an issue. Joe, what's the issue? Then tell me an issue that you want to hear about, Joe. I love the hot water comment. That's my favorite. My favorite. Put hot water. You know that in the 100 level that there is, like when I use the go to wash my hands in the washroom here, it's warm water now.
What was it before?
It wasn't.
It's just cold.
I'm going to say
I didn't know that.
Tepid water.
Tepid. Yeah. Yeah. It was minus 62 before.
Yeah. I love this because now I'm taking over your podcast. But Buck is asking, where do you guys come down on individual goal songs for players? Yay or nay?
Me?
I like it.
No, I like the Rangers. Like the Rangers is the one goal song, right? Where the fans get into when they're announcing it, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like I would prefer a one goal song for all goals.
Really?
I like everybody having their own song. Everybody has their own little song. I like that.
Back in the day, if you think about it, like Alfie had Beautiful Day. Remember
Yep.
Mike Fisher? Mike Fisher had, I think it was 1,000 Foot Crutch was the band, and they wrote a Mike Fisher goal song. Marian Hossa had his, like, there was something cool about it. It's almost like a walk-up song for hitters in baseball, right?
Yeah. No, I think it's great. I think it's great. I think it brings something to the entertainment value, and to me, it makes a connection with that player and the fan. I just think I think it's good. I'm a big fan of it.
I see the bring back Danger Flutes. This might be the most.
You can't read the comments anymore.
Hey,
you can't read the comments anymore.
What do you mean? This is great. I can't tell you how much I love. Like, if you told me that every week I could come onto your show and all we did was read, and again, I don't want this to come across as complaint. It's feedback.
Okay.
It's feedback, and some of it's negative, and that's what you got to live with. That, like, as an organization, you got to live with negative feedback, and that's the only way we're going to get better. So I love it when people, like, the amount of people that say bring back Danger Flutes. Like, I want you to know I'm listening to that. Like, there's a lot of people that love Danger Flutes as the intro song.
I agree. I'm with you. I don't like it when they drop the puck and play it right now. Off the top.
Because that's how it's folded back in, right?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Listen, a lightning bolt just came. I've got a light bulb on top of my head. I've got something. We do maybe a bi-weekly or monthly segment. We call it Mendes's Mailbox. Wally sings the jingle. Mendes Mailbox. Well, you know Wally used to be a singer, right? He'll do the jingle. We'll get Creative Eric to put a little board up there. We do Mendes Mailbox where people put in the suggestion box. We got it.
Can I get this sponsored? Like David Perron, is he sponsored with you guys?
No, we just give him bags of cash.
Okay.
He gets some
Where's
sponsors.
my Randy Moss straight cash, homie? I want straight cash. No, but I would 1,000% be on board with at doing this right, because look at the inbox right now. Look at the comments coming in, and people just want. And this is what I love. I'm telling you, I know this sounds weird that I love this, but every single fan has one thing they wish would be different. And that's a good thing. Like
a win. We would like
I love
a win.
It. Yeah.
That's what we'd like to be different. Also, if you could affect lineup changes, we have a lot of that in the chat. So
I'll go in. I'll go into Travis Green's office, and I'll just, with my hand, I'll just erase the starting lineup, and I'll write my own in.
Are they still? I've only been to one or two games. I forget. Are they still playing that song in the stands that they've played forever? What's it called? One-Eyed Sam or whatever.
Cotton-Eyed Joe.
Cotton-Eyed Joe. Is Cotton-Eyed Joe still playing?
One-Eyed Sam.
Did you just call Cotton-Eyed Joe One-Eyed Sam?
Well, I don't know. It's okay. Cotton-Eyed. Is that still going on? Cotton-Eyed Joe.
No, I have not heard Cotton-Eyed Joe this season. God. I could be wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
Time to retire Cotton-Eyed Joe.
Cameron's asking if we can rip out November from every calendar every year. Don't mind. You know,
it's a month.
Today, I would say you guys should have brought me in. You know what it feels like today? This is a Guns N' Roses November rain day, isn't it? Like, it's just a cold, like
rainy.
Everyone's a little bit ornery. Teams lost.
Listen, I was ornery today. I got in it right off the top of the show. I was talking about adversity, and I'm like, that's not adversity. And I don't know. There's something going on right now it's the weather. I think we're all a little cranky. We're all turning on the Wally. We're all getting bitter. We're all getting bitter like this guy. He's rubbing off on us.
Bitterman.
No, don't entertain this.
The Bickertons.
And I see people are asking, like, it's funny too, right? And like, I talked to some people like DJ Prosper. Some people love him. Other people have different. Like, it's so interesting to me that everybody has their own tunnel or lens, right? That they look at. And some people love danger flutes. And then some people are like, yes, get rid of it. And I'm here for the chaos, is what I'm saying.
I want Lyndon Sluwich to sing every national anthem. I don't want to change. I want it every game.
Do you know what I miss? I miss my afternoon radio with the Bickertons. That's what I miss.
Ian Versage. I heard Versage is coming to the game tonight. So
is he? Maybe
we'll do a Bickertons reunion.
Oh, I love it. So good.
Before we let you go, because we could probably be here all day.
We can. We should be here all day. Let's take this right to puck drop.
I have asked you repeatedly to come on the show, and finally you agreed. So no,
you know what? You have asked me repeatedly.
Just open up the comments. You'll stay. That's all he wants is the comments.
I'm just here for the comments.
At one point, I had tried to negotiate to get Ian to join the show full time. Guess what week we were? It was on a Wednesday. We were supposed to have a meeting. Tuesday, it gets announced that he's accepted a job with the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah.
I know. We should have had the meeting a week earlier.
Oh, hey, I got it. Now that you're here's one for you. You should do a reunion for the time there was a cookie limit in the press box. Bring it back for one night. Bring it back.
One night cookie limit with well, we got to explain this story. Pierre Gauthier was the general manager here in the late 90s.
Yep.
And at the media meal, there used to be a plate of kind of cookies, right, available.
Yep.
But there was a rule put in place, limit one cookie per person. But there's got to be a backstory there. There's got to be who was the media member who took multiple cookies?
Yeah. Somebody abused it. It was. They had a big thing of chocolate chip, big nice cookies in there, and somebody took advantage and was hammering at least 5 cookies a night. And I think Gauthier was watching them. He goes, "That's it. One cookie limit. That's it." And he came down at a hard, and it's like, okay, you can only have one cookie from now on.
No, I was told when he showed up, there was no cookies left, and that's what the problem was.
Oh, he snapped.
Yeah, so he's like, how do I not get a cookie? I'm the damn GM. So I'm blaming Dave Schreiber. That's who I'm going with.
The voice? No,
he's not. Yeah. Let's blame the voice.
I don't think it was the voice. He wouldn't do that.
I think he used to put a couple in his bag to have later.
Hey, you know what? Can I answer this question from Scott?
Sure.
And Scott's asking if there's any kind of behind the scenes touching moments from, we had our Hockey Fights Cancer night, and I don't believe, I think we're going to share this at some point. Maybe we have, the last day has been kind of crazy. But I know we captured the moment, and I really want the fans to understand how gracious Travis Green was on Tuesday night. So those of you who know Angie Poirier, her family has been going through a really tough time with their son Nash, and he's been in and out of treatment. And so Nash was the young fan who dropped the puck for us on Tuesday night. And it was really like that. There was not a lot of dry eyes when Nash came out, and everyone put their cell phone cameras up. And it was really a truly beautiful moment.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, what you didn't see, and what I'm sure you will see at some point, Travis Green invited Nash. Travis was kept coming out of his office. When is Nash getting here? Tell me when Nash is here. Where's Nash? Finally, Nash came there, and I said, Travis, here's Nash. Travis says, come on, buddy. Brings him down to our bench, watches warm-ups with him from the bench, and then this was unbelievable. He had Nash read the starting lineup to the team. And with Angie, with Adam, with their daughters, all of them were in the room, and Nash read the lineup. And Travis stepped out of the room so Nash could have the platform to himself. And I just thought this was so wonderful. And you're going to see it at some point here. We'll share it. But just Travis to do that and to understand the moment. And it was a beautiful moment. So I appreciate. Now I apologize because I forget who asked the question because it's so fun up in the.
That's a great story.
Yeah, and it's. Yeah.
Well, one more thing on Travis for people who don't know. So the Ottawa Charge had their press conference there a couple weeks ago, if I'm not about unveiling the jersey. So I'm in the media room when they're setting up. He came up to meet staff and said, I'm trying to get out. I'd love to come down and watch your practice sometime. And they're like, absolutely. Like, you come down, you can be on the ice or do whatever you want. He's like, yeah, I'm looking. And so they're arranging a time to hang out. I just know, like, we always like to jump on people, but he's actually behind the scenes does a lot of really good things.
He does, and I know, like with the Ottawa Charge, for example. So he's got a really good connection with Mike Hirschfeld, who's their general manager. Mike used to work in the NHL Coaches Association, and so I think him and Travis are quite connected. So I think there's some great opportunities for collaboration there, hopefully with the Ottawa Charge, because like I'm so excited that they're coming to have a game in our building. I'm so excited that there's going to be opportunities for us to hopefully amplify their players and their sport, because that's really a great opportunity for us to grow, I think, as an organization.
Absolutely.
Shep asked a question. It's interesting to me because I know the answer. I'm just curious how you're going to respond. Do you think it's hard to walk a fine line on who talks to the media after a game?
Ooh, sorry, who asked this question?
Shep.
Sounds like Shemp, the old Three Stooges. Wasn't there like a third stooge named Shemp, or am I making that up? I think so.
You're asking the wrong guy.
I think it was Larry, Curly, and Mo, and then I think there was a guy named Shemp. But anyway, now I've gone way off base. It is a hard, like, again, and now in this job, now you see the opposite side of, you go to ask a guy, hey, you want to talk to the media, talk to the media. And, we touch wood to this point, we haven't had a guy post game come to us and say, I'm not talking. Now, we've had guys that run hot and probably need an extra 5 minutes. But again, I'll pass along a fun interaction I had earlier this season. And you might remember, Linus Ullmark had the game against Vegas, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago in Vegas. And Linus came out to speak to the media, and he was like, I just cost the team.
Yes.
You remember this? He was very much took accountability. Yeah. And afterwards, I walked back with him to the locker room, and I said, hey, listen, like I appreciate you coming out after losing. You gave up 5 goals. I said, I appreciate, A, that you're willing to come out, but B, I really appreciate your accountability. And I think the players and the fans will appreciate. They're just looking for accountability. And you know what he said to me? And I thought this was great. He said, I will always be available. That's my job. And he said, that's what we did in Boston. That's what we're going to do here. I said, okay, this is great. And that's great. Like that. So when you think about Boston, what do you think about? You think about culture. You think about, things being baked into the culture. That's what we got to do here. Bake accountability into it. And it helps when your goaltender comes out after a tough performance is like, yeah, I'm willing to talk, and I'm not happy, but I'm willing to talk.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good point. I remember that too. He came out right after the game, and he went a little too far. I thought, like, it wasn't all on him, but
exactly. I was like, whoa, this guy's really going.
Yeah.
Those aren't the notes I gave you.
Let's stick to the script. God damn it!
What are you doing?
I know your phone's going off, so we'll let you go. As always, it's nice to see you, my friend.
Yeah.
Even though you treat me completely different than you used to when we were friends.
Exactly. Now I'm actually treating you with respect because I have to.
You just walk by me now. Don't pay any attention.
My phone keeps. Who's this M. Andlauer that's phoning me? I don't know.
He wants to come back on the show. Anyway, tell him thanks for stopping by.
Yes.
In all seriousness, I'd love to do this, and because it's something that we need to do a better job of. It's like listening to our fans, and making sure that they know that they're being heard, and then figuring out how we solve the problems or issues or challenges, all those things. So I have to use this as
Mendes mailbag. I got it. It's done.
Brought to you by Canada Post.
Brought to you by Canada.
Right, too soon. Yeah,
maybe UPS.
All right,
Amazon.
Okay.
You're on
Love
Amazon.
it, guys. Thanks for having me.
See you, pal.